everyone, welcome to this month's Kidneys in the Kitchen. I'm Megan Craig, Director of Programs for the National Kidney Foundation of Illinois, and I am joined, as always, by a beautiful dietitian who's going to talk with us today. About summer road trip foods. Yeah?
Yes.
Everyone loves a good road trip. So
yes.
Tell us who you are.
Hello, everyone. My name is Tisa Ross. I am a renal dietitian for DaVita. Thanks for having me.
Awesome, of course. Tisa, when you go on road trips, where do you go?
Usually when I go on road trips, I usually go to either Michigan or I may go to, down south.
Down south, okay.
For a family reunion, Mississippi.
Oh, down south.
Down
okay.
south.
All right.
Yes.
I also love Michigan in the summer.
Yes, I love Michigan.
We sound like a commercial for Michigan, but
right.
it's the Midwest. It's close by.
Yes.
Summer road trip. I'm going to start chopping some stuff because we are actually going to be making a dish on here, which I know we don't normally do, but we're going to give it a try. So,
yes,
Tisa,
doing
take it
something
away.
fun. Okay, so again, when we talk about the summertime, road trips are something very fun that we like to do with our family and friends. Like we said, we both love Michigan because Michigan is really close and it's just a short road trip. But what happens is, like I said, sometimes if we go down south where it's a longer road trip, 9-10 hours, we definitely want to make sure that we're prepared in what we're eating. Now, for people that have kidney disease, they are on a special diet. And so today, that's what we're talking about. We're talking about going on road trips, having summer fun, but making sure that you're also following your diet. So today we're going to talk about a few tips. What we're mainly going to do is we're going to correlate how you would pack your bag. So your bag, bag here.
It's a freezer bag, right?
Yes,
it's got
a
some
freezer
insulation.
bag. Yes, it has insulation. I don't think you can see in here. It's like,
oh yeah, the silvery stuff.
Yeah, to keep everything nice and cool.
Awesome.
So that's what we're mainly doing today. We're talking about what we would put in our bag so that we'll have our own snacks. I know everyone likes to have their own snacks, and that way you're not tempted to go different places while you're out on the road that isn't quite healthy.
Fast food, gas station food.
Exactly. That would have high sodium, high fat, and you can make sure you're staying hydrated the proper way as well as having the foods that you need. Okay. So, when you're talking about a summer road trip, some of the things that we want to think about, we want to make sure, number one, it's the summertime, we're staying properly hydrated, but we don't want to go over our fluid recommendations. So some of the things that you want to do is you want to avoid high sodium foods, because when you avoid high sodium foods, what happens is that that way you're less likely to be thirsty. So you want to avoid high sodium foods. When we talk about that, what do you think of high sodium foods?
I think of how I like to, on road trips, pull off the side of the freeway, and anyone who has ever watched this show knows that I am obsessed with French fries.
Okay.
So I like to get some French fries.
Right.
Which are, I think, probably impossible to get sodium free.
Exactly. Even if they say salt free, most of the French fries that we would get at fast food restaurants, they are processed. And so again, when you're eating processed foods, it's going to have high sodium. It's going to have, if it's a French fry, it's a potato, high potassium, as well as phosphorus. And when we talk about phosphorus, when you're having processed foods, like French fries or the fried nuggets or some of the other foods that you would get from fast food or chips, you are going to absorb 90 to 95% of the phosphorus. If you are trying to limit your phosphorus, that's something that you want to keep in mind.
Yeah.
So one thing that you want to do is you want to avoid the high sodium foods. You want to make sure that you have some sort of cup that you can use or have some type of water bottle. They have different sizes for water bottles when we're talking about different cups here. Again, you probably wouldn't want to, you might not travel with just an open cup, you never know. But what happens is this is just showing you that here, this is 18 ounces. So something like this, if we put this on the table, it may not look like it's really
Yeah, so you can see from the side,
Yeah.
it's pretty big there.
Exactly. So something like this, if you're talking about a water bottle, you want to get a smaller water bottle, something like half this size. And at a lot of the discount stores, we can find that.
Awesome.
Another thing that you want to do is you want to make sure that you're looking at some of your fruits. Now, fruits are very healthy. We like fruits, but we also know that fruits contain water. So all food in general has some sort of liquid or water. But when we're talking about fruits, what are some of the fruits that we love?
I love watermelon in the summer.
Exactly. Watermelon.
It's literally got water in its name.
Right, in the name, as well as some of the melons, and those are typically high in potassium. So here we have different fruits displayed here that are something that that you can have, like apples, and we have a pear, and we have grapes. So one thing that's important when we're showing these grapes here. So when it comes to grapes, we all love grapes. Well, most of us should. You're looking at this. You're looking at this cup here. We counted out the amount of grapes, because this is something that's very important. Because when you're having grapes, you can just have a big bag and you're like, I'm eating grapes. It's so good. But you are taking in fluids with that. So in this particular, how many we have exactly? 12 grapes?
12 grapes.
12 grapes. So the 12 grapes here, this would equal 3 ounces of fluid. So that's something that's really important when you're watching your fluid, because a lot of times you may say, I'm staying within my fluid recommendations, but why am I going over? And it could be simple things like this. Another good tip is freezing grapes. You can freeze grapes prior to your trip. Put them in your bag, the bag that we showed you earlier. And what can happen is that can also help you to decrease on the amount of fluids that you're taking in. So that's something that's really helpful. Now, we also have here, so we have our grapes, some of our snacks. Because again, when we're talking about packing for our road trip, what do we want in our bag? We want to make sure we have a water bottle, okay? Or even, we can have like the refillable bottles, or we can have the smaller water bottles that we purchase. We want to make sure we have our yummy snacks, right? And so here today, we brought some of the snacks that are renal friendly, and just some of the tips to think about with snacks. Okay, so we have this nice, yummy, luscious pear.
Yeah, I looked earlier to find out exactly what kind it is. It looks like it's a Bosque pear, and I was just like, yeah, that looks so delicious.
Yes. And so this was a perfect pear to choose, because this is the average size of pears that we see in the store. This is something that's very healthy. It has your fiber. It's definitely a fruit that's okay to have if you're on dialysis or chronic kidney disease, but also the fluids in this pear. So this pear would be about 3 to 4 ounces of water. So that's something to keep in mind too, because again, you think like, okay, when you think of water and fruits, you think of like oranges, watermelon, but you don't think of things like pears. But pears, this would be about 3 to 4 ounces. So that's something to keep in mind. But this is definitely a healthy snack to have. We have pears, we have apples. Also, we have here,
this is some dehydrated pineapple.
yes, dehydrated pineapple, really good snack. It's definitely low in potassium, so it's really good.
And in case you're wondering, it turns out dehydrated fruit and dried fruit are not the same thing.
They are
This
not.
is very interesting.
Yes.
It's very dry.
Yes.
And crunchy.
Yes. So it's more of like a snack.
Yeah.
So that's something that's really good. When we have dehydrated, it's basically all of the water that is taken out of it. So this process is a little different than just having the standard dry. Also, we have here pretzels.
And you'll notice that we have some unsalted pretzels.
Yes.
Because, as we have seen before, that nutrition information is important. We can see even unsalted pretzels do still have some sodium in there.
Yes.
So we've got, well, I can't get the camera to work, but we've got, it looks like 80 milligrams of sodium in there.
And a lot of times people will say, well, why? Because you have to remember, it is a grain. breads typically have sodium in it. So
Naturally, right?
Yeah, naturally, and that's something that a lot of times people don't think about when they are, thinking about low sodium foods and trying to avoid higher sodium foods. So again, this is something that's nice. You can have a baggie with some pretzels. We'll put this over here.
And we did grab some snack size bags as well.
Yes.
You know that, you can get those reusable bags in any kind of size, freezer bags all the way down. So we have these nice little guys here.
Yeah, so this is something really good. You can mix and match. You can have some of your unsalted pretzels as well with some of your pineapple. You can maybe add a grape or two if you like, or some other type of dried or dehydrated fruits, which would be a nice healthy snack, and keeping your portions small. And you can kind of look and see like how much you're eating throughout the day in the small bags. Okay, so that's something nice. Also, now when we are on our road trips, we want to avoid stopping at a lot of restaurants for a few reasons. When I'm on a road trip, especially if we have to go all the way to Mississippi, I want to get there. I do not want to continue.
How many hours is that?
It's like 10 hours. Well, it depends on who drives. If my little cousin drives, it might be 6, 7 hours. If I drive, I try to stick to the speed limit. So when we're doing that, we want to definitely make sure that we are not stopping a lot, but also that we're not tempted by the road temptations.
Sure. Those roadside pit stops.
Yes, that are always going to be high sodium, high phosphorus, high fat, high calorie, things that we want to avoid. So with that being said, we are going to show today a chicken salad. So this is something that we can do prior to and put it in the freezer bag, and we can have the chicken salad on bread, some type, maybe wheat bread or croissant or whatever bread of choice, as well as maybe eating it with some crackers, unsalted crackers.
Sure.
Okay.
All right.
So
all right.
Let's start.
Here we go.
Lovely bowl here.
I'm going to give you an overhead view.
Okay.
All right. So we have our bowl so that you can kind of see what's going on.
Yes.
And then our ingredients.
Yes. First thing is chicken. So
right. Is this the right amount?
Yeah, and then for this particular chicken, some of it is we could take some of it out. This wasn't cut yet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but this one we could let's spoon this part out.
Sure thing. Here, maybe stab it with a fork there.
Yeah. Right. Well, here I'll put this in because this is cut.
Perfect.
So this is some chicken that was sautéed with some garlic and some pepper.
It smells like those seasonings.
Yeah.
It really does.
I put a little curry in here as well. This was a chicken thigh, so maybe not a chicken breast, which would have the least amount of fat, but it would have the flavor since I didn't add any sodium to this. And remember, when you're dealing with chicken or any type of meat, it's going to have natural sodium even if you don't add anything. So if you have you make it flavorful, you can have any of the seasonings that you like. Typically with making a chicken salad, what a lot of people do is that they just have like a rotisserie chicken that they chop up, or just a cube chicken that they may have or cooked. But I like to add just a little bit of different type of seasonings with it, so it looks
a little tastier.
Yes.
Sure.
Yes.
All
so
right.
we have our chicken there, and we have here. Let's put this to the side.
Sure thing. What's next?
Our hard-boiled egg.
All right. So we've got one. This one we got pre-cooked, pre-shelled in the store. Actually,
that's awesome. That's
easy
perfect.
peasy.
Yes.
All right. So
we can add.
Do we want to chop that up?
Yes. Let's chop that up. Put this over to the
Can
side.
do.
Now, a few things with this. You can either, if you want to decrease on your cholesterol, you can use half of the yolk or none of the yolk. You don't have to use all of the yolk. And because it'll pretty much taste the same. Or you can use the yolk. Today, I think, should we use the yolk? Let's use.
Yeah, let's use the yolk.
Let's
use the yolk.
Right,
I would like
use
to.
the yolk today. That's getting chopped up there. That looks awesome.
And eggs. Anything in eggs people need to watch out for? Cholesterol, I guess, a bit.
Right, cholesterol, depending on what stage you are for kidney disease. If you are stages 1 through 4, then you may want to decrease your protein. So you would want to talk to your doctor and your dietitian about the amount of protein that you want to have.
Okay.
And again, this can be done, you don't necessarily have to use chicken. You could use other things. You could use like a meat replacement to make the salad. That would be something good. You can use tofu. One thing I really like about tofu is that it takes in whatever seasonings, whatever flavor that the other food has. So you'd be surprised. I've made a tofu salad before and it was very good.
That sounds awesome. Yeah, I'm not a big meat eater, so I like the alternative ideas there.
Yeah, that's something good.
All right. Hopefully that's chopped enough.
Yeah, so we have our 2 tablespoons of onions.
Okay, those we have pre-chopped because I didn't feel like crying on camera today. So I'm just going to dump is this pre-measured?
It's a little bit more, so we can just jump.
We'll dump some in. We're eyeballing it
Yeah,
today.
that sounds good. Yes. And then the 1/4 cup of celery. This is pre-measured.
Oh, this is pre-measured because I was chopping it earlier in the show. Yep. All right, so we're going to go ahead and dump that guy in there.
Very good.
All right.
And let's have 1/4 cup of reduced fat mayonnaise.
All right, so talk to me about the mayonnaise a little bit while I'm measuring out a 1/4 cup here.
All right, so with the mayonnaise, something that we want to, you can have mayonnaise. A lot of times people ask, is mayonnaise okay? It's okay, but again, it's one of those sometimes foods. And when we talk about sometimes, that's something you don't want to have all of the time. But for this particular cooking demonstration, having a 1/4 cup, not a big deal. Once in a while, that's fine. But typically mayonnaise has dairy, so it's going to have some small amounts of potassium or phosphorus. But with that, you are allowed to have potassium and phosphorus. You just don't want to overindulge.
1/4 cup, right?
Yes.
Okay, good. Kind of looks like a lot, honestly.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it kind of looks like a lot. But just remember, this is something that you would share.
Yeah, a good point.
Yeah,
good point.
You would share.
Yes, don't eat a 1/4 cup of mayonnaise by yourself. Okay.
Exactly. And then you can, now I brought here some mustard.
Oh, yeah.
Because what some people like to do is they like to add some mustard too.
I love mustard in every kind of salad dish.
And this is a way that you can also cut some of the mayonnaise if you want. You can cut some of the mayonnaise and you can put mustard, the yellow mustard.
Wonderful.
Okay? And then we're going to have some lemon juice. So we'll just...
lemon juice, okay. So we can cut that guy.
Yes, and just kind of squeeze.
Yep, we're going to use our egg knife, which is a little... maybe use a different one if you're cooking at home, but okay.
Yeah, want to squeeze.
Okay, say when.
Let's see. That looks good. Yeah, let's start...
Okay.
Let's see. Let's start mixing
it up. Okay, there's our spoon.
Mix it. To see what we have here. Oh, this looks really good.
Yeah, it does. I would totally eat that.
I know, right? I always say... And this is crunchy, which is good. You can have
because of the celery, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And you can add different things to it. You can add a little turmeric, a little curry.
Ooh, turmeric would be fun because it would add that orange pop to it, right?
That would be very nice. Yes.
You can make it Kidney Foundation themed.
And this is something you can have with your family. And a lot of times when you are following a renal diet, what happens is family members may say, Mom, I'm sick of this, or Dad, I'm tired of eating this, or even your spouse may say that, or your partner. And what'll happen is you may feel a little left out, but with something like this, they'll be like, I want to take part of this as well. Now, what I would also like to add is pepper.
Okay.
And I had that last because it depends. Some people like it, some people don't.
Yeah, I'm going to sprinkle and you say when.
Let's do a little, maybe a little bit more.
A little more?
Yep.
Okay.
That's good.
All good?
And that adds flavor. You can do like the fresh pepper.
Oh yeah, that does look good.
I know, and then we can cut it a little bit if we want to, just a little. Because I made them a little chunky. Let's see.
I guess it kind of depends how you want it to be, right?
Yes.
You get the bigger pieces or really mince it up.
Yes, and one thing I did for the chicken thigh is that I cut the fat off first.
Ooh,
because that's something you can do. And the thing about the darker pieces of meat is, although sometimes they may have more fat you have to cut off, but they definitely have more iron.
Oh, okay.
Because when you're looking at your meats, and then you have the dark meats. The dark meat would have iron, but the lighter colors of meat wouldn't have iron. So a lot of times people don't realize that when they are trying to increase their iron and things of that sort.
And that's common among dialysis patients?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
it is.
I mean, yeah, this looks great.
Oh,
so
yeah.
this is something that you would make ahead at home.
Yes.
Make sure that it's cold, correct?
Yes.
Yep, while you're in the car.
Yes.
So that you don't get food poisoning.
Exactly. So you want to make this ahead of time, maybe like a day before, and then you don't want to put it on bread or anything before you put it in the refrigerator. Put it in the refrigerator the day of. Want to make your sandwich or crackers or have it in some type of container, like a smaller container.
Little one of these or one of these guys.
And then you want to make your sandwich with that, and so you can have that. Have your sandwich. Have your snacks, your fruit, and have your pretzels.
Oh, that might be good on those unsalted pretzels.
Yes, very good. Yes, have your water bottle, and you are all set. And then you want to have, of course, some crossword puzzles and games and things of that sort.
Yeah, unless you get car sick, then don't do crossword puzzles.
No, definitely not. Or if you're driving.
So no food poisoning and no car sickness, please, everyone.
Yes.
But otherwise, and you can enjoy your summer road trips. I think that's what, is important to know here.
Yes.
Is that you don't have to stay home. You can travel.
You can travel, just making sure you're being prepared. And then if you do need to stop, some tips that you want to think about, you want to definitely make sure that you're staying to something with fruit. You want to make sure that you're having just fresh or some type of real meat, not something processed.
Sure.
You want to stick to something that's not going to be high in potassium, like potatoes, like French fries. You want to say, like you could say, for instance, if you went somewhere to a restaurant, a quick restaurant, you may want to stick to something that wasn't fried, something broiled on bread, and then instead of the French fries, having like apples to eat with
it seems like even most fast food restaurants now offer some sort of alternative, maybe just in like a children's meal or something like that too.
Yes, you want to keep in mind ice. That ice is half of the cup that you would have. So for instance, this is 18 ounces, which is huge. If we put ice in this cup, we just filled it with ice, it would be 9 ounces of fluid.
Okay, great.
So the ice plus fluid. So those are some of the things that would be good and helpful tips.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much again, Tisa. We
Thanks for having me.
loved having you here.
Yes.
Everyone enjoy your summer vacations and your summer trips. And just as a reminder, if you're looking for any good recipes, including the one that we made today, you can visit our website at nkfi.org, like National Kidney Foundation Illinois.org, and you can scroll through our diet and nutrition section for lots of great information and recipes. So we will see you next month, and have a great summer.
Have a great summer.